Welcome back to Narcissists Anonymous. That would be an oxymoron, wouldn't it? Sheepdog Smokey here, and we're looking today at what, honestly, I've kind of expected. Beto patronizes. I may not give much to charity, but hey, I'm giving you me. On Tuesday, appearing at a town hall at the University of Virginia, former Congressman and current presidential candidate Robert Francis O'Rourke offered a typically egocentric answer when asked why he donated so little money to charity. The audience should understand the sacrifice he's making running for president. Yes, spending other people's money is always a sacrifice, isn't it? The Dallas Morning News reported that Maura Nakahara, a senior majoring in chemistry with a minor in government, asked O'Rourke why, if he made 7 times what her sister made, she gave more to charity than O'Rourke. As Jenna Johnson of the Washington Post reported, O'Rourke responded loftily. I've served in office since 2005. I do my best to contribute to the success of my community, of my state, and now of my country. There are ways that I do this that are measurable, and there are ways that I do this that are immeasurable. There are charities that we donate to that we've recorded and itemized, others that we have donated to that we have not. But I will tell you, I'm doing everything I can right now. Spending time with you, not with our kiddos. You do have a spelling typo there, folks. Not back at home in El Paso, because I want to sacrifice everything to make sure that we meet this moment of truth with everything we've got. Yet at the end of March, O'Rourke pontificated about how the wealthy of the country, or the wealth of the country, must be shared, tweeting, the unprecedented concentration of wealth, power, and privilege in the United States must be broken apart. Opportunity must be fully shared with all. We must all have the opportunity to succeed, together, as one country, says the multimillionaire who gave less to charity than someone making 7 times less than him. In addition, O'Rourke had problems with the idea of sharing the massive amount of funds he had accumulated for his Senate race with other Democratic Party senatorial candidates who were in close races, as the Daily Wire reported in mid-October. On Monday, Texas Representative Robert Francis O'Rourke announced that despite the alleged pleas from other Democratic senatorial candidates for him to share some of the funds he has accrued for his campaign, he has no intentions to do so, even though their races may be closer than his race against Senator Ted Cruz, Republican Texas, according to the New York Times. Democrats feel that they would have a better chance winning in the close Senate race in Missouri, Florida, or Indiana if O'Rourke would share the wealth. O'Rourke had accumulated a $31.8 million war chest, the largest in Senate history. He informed reporters he will spend it all before Election Day. He sniffed that if his donors want to offer additional support to other candidates, they can fork over more cash. According to the Washington Examiner, O'Rourke said, I've got to honor the commitment that those who've contributed to this campaign have made to me, and their desire that we use this to win this election. If they want to contribute to someone else, they should do so. If they want to contribute to a campaign that's going to win this historic victory for Texas and the country, then I'm grateful for their contribution and I'm going to make the most of it. So that's what we're focused on. Just so you know, folks, O'Rourke was never in a close race with Cruz. Never. The Washington Post reported on Tuesday former Congressman Robert Francis O'Rourke, Democrat Texas, released 10 years of tax returns last night. He and his wife reported $1,166 of charitable giving from a total income of $370,000 or $370,412 in 2017, the most recent year for which they released a return. That's 1/3 of 1%. O'Rourke came in at the bottom of the list of current presidential candidates if you compare his giving in 2017 to their 2018 charity giving as cited by the Post. Although none of them gave over 6%, Elizabeth Warren, Democrat Massachusetts, and her husband donated 5.5%. Governor Jay Inslee, Democrat Washington, and his wife gave roughly 4%. Senator Bernie Sanders, Independent, Vermont, and his wife gave 3.4%. Senator Amy Klobuchar, Democrat Minnesota, and her husband gave just less than 2%, as did Senator Kirsten Gillibrand and her husband, and Senator Kamala Harris and her husband gave just 1.4%. The latest figures regarding former Vice President Joe Biden came from 2015, when he and his wife gave roughly 1.8%. Now, I want to address something specifically. that O'Rourke has said that opportunity must be fully shared with all. Notice that he only says opportunity. What Democrats mean when they say that is opportunity to get results. Equality of results is what must be shared. They don't mean the opportunity to try and fail. They mean the opportunity to stick your hand out and have money given to you. You can tell by looking behind me, I am doing this from my home. This is actually my bedroom and office. Right now, the room to my left, my living room area, which will ultimately be my office, is unfinished. Has been for a couple of years as I bought this building and am slowly turning it into my home. The reason for this is that I needed new tires, or I had to go to the hospital, or my parents needed new tires and needed help, or I had another expense come up. And I don't have multiple millions of dollars in the bank and a six-figure salary to finish my home on. I don't have the money to donate to charity. But I don't donate my time by running for office. I donate my time by actually going to these charities and working to sort donations and working to repair their buildings and so on and so forth. We do charitable work through my company. And if O'Rourke could prove that he's done that, as opposed to holding a rally behind fence barricades in a section of Texas border areas that have a wall, where he then tells people walls are horrible, I might not be doing this actual video about him being a complete and total hypocrite. But then he wouldn't be Robert Francis O'Rourke, the Irishman who wants you to believe he's Hispanic and who wants you to praise him for giving 1/3 of 1% of his not low six-figure salary to charity last year. Because, of course, well, I actually gave more, I just didn't report it. And I'm giving of my time by asking you to give me money and asking you to support me and asking you to praise me and asking you to cheer me on. O'Rourke is just another liberal, hell bent on opening the border, disarming Americans, raising your taxes, and silencing anyone who dissents. He is a former punk rocker, which, if I remember right from the 90s, probably involved a few chemical substances meant for recreation, but are currently which are illegal. Involved a lot of alcohol because he had a DUI that police reports say he tried to flee the scene of. He has, I believe, a breaking and entering charge. In my mind, anyone with a rap sheet with just those last two on it should not be allowed to serve in state or federal government. But unfortunately, this is the Democratic Party, where someone like Edward Kennedy, otherwise known as Ted, can drive drunk with a woman in the car, crash his car off of a bridge, leave her to drown, run back to his bungalow, take a quick shower, hide the wet clothes, get dressed to look like he was in bed, and then act surprised. But later admit that he was in the car, but he just couldn't save her. And even after the truth comes out, he spends a couple of decades more in the U.S. Senate. It's not surprising to me that someone who had a DUI, tried to flee, and has other criminal charges in his past is being treated as a contender. We're setting up for a circus sideshow in 2020 for the debates and primaries. We're looking to have more than 20 Democratic hopefuls. I've worked on a lot of elections as an election judge, an election monitor, as a campaign volunteer. I've never seen a primary with more than about 5 or 6 people putting their name in the hat. But we're gearing up for pretty good size double-digit number of candidates, all vying for the Democratic National Committee to nominate them. I do have some predictions. Biden will announce he's running, but then say he's bowing out because the time for white men is over. Bernie will get screwed. Swalwell will not make it to the debates. And it will end up actually coming down to I'm a fake Indian. I smoked pot listening to Tupac before he was a thing. And some of the other women, because the Democratic Party will ultimately run on you must vote for insert candidate here because she is a woman and therefore better qualified than a man. But we're not sexist. But I've talked about this long enough. Let me know what you think in the comments. Just remember, keep it civil. We don't learn from an argument, we learn from debate. And as always, remember to like, share, subscribe, and activate notifications so that you are the first to know about content as it is posted. Until next time, everyone have a wonderful day.